Hey y'all, welcome back to At Work with the Ready. I'm Rodney Evans, and that guy over there is Sam Spurlin.
Hello, Rodney Evans.
Every other week, we are tackling one tough, thought-provoking question from you, our beloved listeners, and sharing a few ideas that might help. So let's dive in. Sam, what do you have for us this week?
All right. This week's question is maybe our favorite question that we have received in a while. And it
Yes.
goes a little something like this. I just got promoted to lead my team, but there's a lot of baggage. I now manage my former boss and former supervisor who were reassigned due to performance. I'm under a lot of pressure to turn the team around fast and need some advice. Holy moly, Rodney. What are you thinking about this one?
I mean, first of all, good on you for just rolling with this. This is a very difficult situation to be put in for anyone. And I have a lot of empathy for your former boss and former supervisor. And I have a lot of
Yeah.
empathy for you. Everybody in this situation is having like a real ego ping right now as a result,
Yeah.
for better and worse, depending on where you landed in this triangle. My first best advice is I don't know what your relationship is like with these people, but to whatever extent feels safe enough to try for you, acknowledge the weirdness of this situation. Just
Yeah.
like like assume that everybody is cringing right now and sort of like, white knuckling through this moment to just be like, how ox is this going to be?
Yeah.
And however you can, when you have this team together, just saying like, hey, this is what I would say if it was my team and I was pulling them together and my former boss and supervisor were there. I'd be like, hey, we've got a lot of history. We used to play different roles here. Roles have changed for a variety of reasons. That happens in companies all the time. And I'm not going to pretend that it's not weird. I'm going to
Yeah.
do my absolute best. I would ask you to ask me what you need from me for you to do the same. And let's just like roll from here and see how it goes.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to, you don't have to get everybody into a room and like do trust falls. But I also think that part of why these things go so sideways is our refusal to just say, well, this is fucking awkward. And I
Yeah.
think just doing that lets a lot of air out of the tire.
Totally. And I think as part of that, I would be looking to, and again, not knowing the personalities in play here, I'm not sure how realistic this feels, but I would be looking to have some conversations one on one with these former bosses, former supervisor, to really like ask for advice and try to actually understand like what like how they saw the situation that they were trying to navigate. And obviously it did not whatever they were doing did not end in the outcomes that they were looking for, but there's information to be gleaned, to be uncovered there that will serve you well if they're willing to kind of show up and have that conversation with you.
Yeah, I think that's right. I also just think this is a situation where the prevailing feeling for these people could be shame. And
Yeah.
shame is really hard to deal with in a team. It's like it can be pretty paralyzing when somebody is just embarrassed at what has happened to them and it feels like some sort of public referendum on their job. That being said, these people got promoted to at least supervisory positions for a reason. So to your point, Sam, like presumably they have some talents, they have made contributions in the past. That's how they got there. The one thing I would caution against is like ask for their advice, but be really authentic about it. I have
Sure.
gotten into trouble in my own career basically asking people for advice to get them on my side, even though I thought I knew better than them and I didn't really want to hear it and I didn't think all that much of their opinions. Don't do that because people know and they get
Yeah.
really mad at you and then they try to destroy you, which is what happened to me. So I would just say, like, +1 to Sam, and also just like ask about things where you're really ready to hear their answer and possibly like execute on it or at least really
Yeah.
take it under consideration because it's worse to do that inauthentically than to not do it at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, definitely. And I guess the last thing here, I mean, this is a tough situation. And if the result of the tough situation is that perhaps like these folks need to be managed out of this team, I think that's a very likely possibility. Like, good intentions and, well, this is even assuming good intentions. Like, who knows how people are actually going to show up to this? But good intentions do not perfect organizations make. So I think there's a reality where it'll be better for everybody, including the two former bosses, to find something else, to find the next thing where they can actually contribute in a way that is in line with their skills, abilities, interests, and better for everyone.
Yeah, Sam, I agree. I would tell you that the worst mistakes that I've made around parting ways with people is waiting too long.
Mhm.
So, I think that this is a situation where, like, fast and decisive is kinder actually than letting something fester that's not working. That's not to say don't give them a chance and don't give it a shot, but,
Yeah.
like, if it isn't working and you know it isn't working, let them go. Let them go because otherwise this dynamic will poison the team and you will not be able to get anything done. Which leads me to a point, Sam, that you had made, which is just like this idea that a lot of times when there's awkwardness or a rupture in a team like this, we really want to rush to mend it. It feels really uncomfortable to us, like in our pack, in our tribe, to just
Yeah.
like let things be. But humans have an amazing way of sorting it out and of sort of like figuring out how the flock is going to reconfigure. And so, while out of one side of my mouth, I'm saying, don't let it persist, be decisive if you know that it's borked. On the other hand, I would also say, don't rush to fix it. Like, give it some space, give it some oxygen, see if everybody can find their way
Yeah.
without you over engineering it or being overly grippy about it. Like, give these adults some time to get adjusted to the new reality and get over whatever, ego smackdown they've just taken, and see if it can sort of like all smooth out.
Yeah. 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 I love that. All right. That's it for this mini. If you've got a question of your own, hit us up at podcast@theready.com.
And we will see you back next week for a full episode of At Work with the Ready. Thanks for being here.